Indeed an asset to the nation in the political context. Mr. Ferdie Ferreira is here with us this morning on Brunch at 107.7.
We thank you very much, Mr. Ferdie Ferreira, for being here, being our guest this morning. He has operated and he's going to give us more details because he's here. But he was a former labor relations and elections officer. But he served on the PNM Central Executive and the General Council. And most importantly in this context, he was in the march about Chaguaramas. It wasn't a march to Chaguaramas. Mr. Ferreira, good morning.
Good morning.
We asked for Dr. Botiwari, the Minister of Planning, to be in here for this discussion. And we were told it was declined and that he would host a news conference sometime this week. So we make that clear.
One of the problems I always have as a layman is that whenever I am on the show, there's a declaration. I certainly would love to have Mr. Botiwari or anybody else, because one of the agreements was for the American government to construct the road from Chaguaramas to Port. You know that? It's documented. In the negotiations, one of the proposals was the Kennedy Center at the university. In 2 new warehouses at the port, and one of the proposals, one of the agreements was the construction of the road. That's 1977, the flag came down, the American flag came down, and the Trinidad flag went up. That's 23 and 10, 33, 38 years, nearly 4. So I think one of the things, while I'm getting, and let me be careful, I wish to congratulate the government on the boardwalk. And it is a beautiful looked at it, and it's just a beautiful anything that is done for the benefit of the people, whichever government do it, we must welcome it and appreciate it, and so on. My concern with Chaguaramas is that whatever has to be done, the people must be taken. It belongs to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and they must have full access to it. And when we march for Chaguaramas on the 22nd, the very voices that are very vocal now, and it's recorded here, they almost destroyed Williams. It's in Hansard if you read it, that you're going to war with the Americans. The things they said, the people who are benefiting the most from China, the people who did not participate, and not only they supported with the American, the British government, and some of the colonial governments, oppose and want to know if William was a madman, if he was going to war with the United States, and who will pay for the lands. But that takes us to my major consideration, particularly in terms of the beachfronts and what they had in the old days called low tide rights. So the people must have full access, and they must get their fair share of what comes out of that value. It belongs to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and we must guard that patrimony like Spanish gold.
Is it too cynical to see this in the context of politics, or would you see this as just plain bad management?
Well, I mean, you can't escape. I don't know why people use the term politics. Man is a product of politics.
That is my best.
Aristotle said by nature, man is a political animal by nature.
That is my best choice. That's my best choice.
Whatever. Yes. Whatever the issue, there's a political reflection, there's a political complexion, and so the march for Chaguaramas, in spite of the objective, was William was a politician, and whoever is there, whatever related to Chaguaramas, is going to have some politics in it. But we could ignore the politics for a while and make sure that the patrimony is shared by all the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. I recall the days as a young man when we could not go into Chaguaramas. I wrote about it. Macquarie Club was one of the most exclusive clubs, and not only that, it was this discrimination when we had to bathe at the gate by Tembladora. In the
first gate, as it were.
Yes. And we couldn't go into the Tetron, Scotland Bay,
off limits,
and the various bingos at Macquarie. And if you want to go in, you had to go by Harriman to get a pass from the Booth family to go in.
That is a fear that a lot of people have too. Amidst all other concerns and other anxiety as to this 30-year lease deal, is the question of the land being taken away from the people again. It's a deja vu, as though as though the march was for no reason.
Yes, so
we're just giving back.
That to me is what we have to look at. If you're going to, so somebody has to pay for it. And if you're going to distribute these leases, approve them, and so on, then you must take into consideration the people have already been deprived of almost the entire seafront. When you peak and have massive tracks down there, Pier 1, you could bathe in the sea, but if you don't have money to go and buy drinks in Pier 1, you can't afford it.
Indeed.
So that to me must not at any given time be ignored.
This lease situation and this
government, the attention must be paid to the people. And part of the people, the farmers. The farmers are part of it, so some arrangement should be made to accommodate these farmers.
So my question to you in conclusion...
They're producing food, and it's the part of... They were there, those lands have been there for 30-odd years, so some they can agreement. Valley. I don't know if you probably weren't old enough. Tucker Valley was belonging to Canyon. Mm-hmm. The original owners of Hilo. I don't know if you heard about Crow's Nest.
No.
Crow's Nest was the official residence of the commanding officer. When a Trinidadian get into Crow's Nest, as if he almost got into heaven. When the American flag was pulled down, the then Prime Minister, Dr. Williams, had a function at Crow's Nest. He invited, must have been 1,000 of us there. Mm-hmm. Party members and the members of the community. And it was the first time we knew. It's off Cannon's Point. When you go into Tobago, you can see it. We never knew they had a place like that in Trinidad. That's where the commanding officer, the defense force, lived. At Crow's Nest, that was prohibitive to locals.
Well, the funny thing is that we were able to turn that around, bring it to the nation, and now it looks as though it's going away. In conclusion, I do want to ask you this. The 30-year lease, would you say that is fait accompli? You think there's anything the nationals can do about it at this point?
Certainly the government have the power. If even the cabinet have not yet approved it, they have to approve it retroactively. Mm-hmm. Once the cabinet approve it, it is in accordance with the Chaguaramas Development Act.
Therefore, should we change the act? We come back to the Chaguaramas Development Act, which is a whole new discussion as Bishop is winding up this half hour now.
The whole intention with the act was to make sure that the piece of real estate remains in the hands of the people. It was drafted by Carl Hudson Phillip. The first chairman of the Chaguaramas was John O'Halloran. And that was the intention, that it continued to be part of the piece of to belong to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. So any attempt to make any decisions, or at least any part of it that has not taken that into consideration, should be rejected.
You are unquestionably a cherished part of the political landscape here. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your clarity this morning. And be not a stranger, because we'll be coming back at you from time to time. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us this morning.
Oh, thank you very much for having me. I hope I've been able to be some help to you.
Very, very much. I think you had everyone enthralled with your knowledge and bringing us into what it was like, because that context is important.
We could have been part of the United States.
Hello.
If Roosevelt probably didn't have too much attention for black and chicken.
They had a 23-year taste and then decided, yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Ferdie Ferreira. Thank you so much for joining us.